Welcome viewers, this is Wadidja. As what did you do, what did you think, what did you enjoy? And here we are today with Warframe as we give a little behind the scenes sneak peek and detail about the upcoming series for the channel involving the succession to the Hex Quest Finale. And basically what we have to do is go through and basically get our syndicate standing up to level 3 and build up the relationships with the syndicate as well. there's my Kubrow. Hey, how you doing? Yeah. So let me move my camera out the way here for a second, and yeah, there we go. I think that's a better position. Wait a minute. Yeah, we'll see how it goes. But yes, so like I said, we have a upcoming series involving going through the where is it? Yeah, the Palm 2 PC and the relationship building with the missions. Let's see, I think I'd have to be in the mall to see that. But yes. It's going to be a nice little journey, so I wanted to role play it with, the Author Gemini skin and a lot of little particulars I've found out about how to kind of use the skin and transform with the associated emote. And it really sparked a big, motivational boom to go ahead and create a nice little series to kind of work with the plot and storyline therein with Warframe and the Hex Quest and the many aspects that you can encounter through the vast universe that DE has created. Because, throughout the various different quests that you have to deal with, you just uncover and realize that there are a lot of different ways in which role-playing and various different ideas can come to life through creativity. Even though this says it's completed, there's a finale. The quest is up on my channel in regard to the way I went through it and seeing my Tenno in action. And I did also too a mate. I forgot exactly how. Wait a minute, let me just double check something 1 second. Because I don't know if we are live. Okay. All right. We're good. That kind of concerned me for a second. My page did not update. But yeah, so like I said, it's really cool, the various different things that can come to mind in regard to role playing and storytelling. So to make it worthwhile, and also to, like I said, to highlight the Gemini skin and the way that they have put this quest together, because you actually had a prequel to the quest, and which was the Lotus Eaters. And like I said, I labeled it as a prequel. It's up on my channel. And then it takes you to the Hex Quest. And then there's a finale, which you actually have to participate in the game to accomplish. And like I said, that's through the bounties and raising relationship status with each one of the Hex members. It's called chemistry building. There are options to date and what have you, but let that be a surprise for the actual series as to where that direction goes. But as far as understanding the plot and direction and the manner in which I have, blended the elements of the Warframe universe with my own motivation. That's what basically what motivated me to come up with the various different details that I'll discuss shortly. So I think that does sum up the point of the why for the series and the intrigue I tend to have with what DE is created within the Warframe universe in the various different ways you can sort of create a concept or a role-playing idea should it come to mind. Let's see here, 1 second. All right. And yes, let me put this in real quick. What I'm going to do too is just highlight the points of what I'm drawing from in regard to, you know, continuing the quest, the way the Hex Quest kind of sets you up within the sort of reality of the Warframe universe and the myriad different aspects of paradoxes and alternate reality, not really realities, but existences. I think that's a better way to state it. So you do have, you know, the Warframe, you know, solar system as you see here, but then there's also to the void, and in the void, you know, the void itself is kind of stated that death is a dream in a manner that it has ways of preserving one's essence, so to speak. Then, you know, another aspect that was introduced to us was the very paradox, where you actually, you know, meet your drifter that we see here. You know, when the game starts you out, and I apologize for those that don't know, but at the same time, it's kind of, like I said, it's behind the scenes. So if you know, you want to be new to the game, I'll put some timestamps in. You can skip past certain points if you like, but they'll be titled accordingly. But your Tenno has, it's also too. So, like I said, the void has a lot to do with the infestation that is come into play with the aspects of mutation towards human beings into a warframe. And you do have the Tenno as well, who have been touched by the void in such a way that they have abilities that are unlike normal human beings. And they can transfer their consciousness into the warframe and actually somewhat puppeteer them to a degree, you know, in every single way, in a manner of speaking, because most of the warframes do not have autonomy except for Umbra, who is Excalibur's sort of pinnacle form, in my opinion, that goes beyond the Excalibur Prime or the regular Excalibur. Excalibur it was only available to founder members. So nevertheless, though, within the universe here, you do have not only is, like I said, the void in the manner that it has touched the Tenno, and this is your younger self, in which you get introduced shortly after you start playing the game, because at first you just think that you're a Warframe, but really you're not just a Warframe, you're a operator, as they're called, and also too they're simultaneously referred to as a Tenno, and also to the Warframes at one time, in the manner that they were functioning, were regarded as Tenno as well. So there's a couple of little dualities. And the name Tenno actually comes from their DE's first iteration of what Warframe brings to us was called Dark Sector. And Dark Sector, the main protagonist, I believe his name was Hayden Tenno. Last name was Tenno. So in the Deviri Paradox, you realize that from the experiences in the Void, you know, a circumstance happened in which case the people of the Zeraman, of which you were a sort of say citizen of this ship here, got trapped in the void, and all kinds of heck went crazy. So a lot of folks died. Some people stayed alive because of the paradox of certain situations, and this is the reason why this was called the Deviri experience or the Deviri paradox. In which case, you know, your Tenno or operator also too simultaneously existed and grew up. And the time frame of things were different. The Tenno also too were preserved in a manner of speaking in a dream, state. So let me just get rid of this.
First in the mind, and only later
so
in the body.
in the Deviri here, we have Teshin, who's a wise sage and former combatant. Long story behind that, dude. We'll go into all that, try to save some time here. But yeah, so the Deviri here is a rather, intriguing place, in which case a stage can be set for a multitude of ideas because of the way Deviri, this Deviri experience that's taken from, elements of the void, has its own sort of time and place in which things can come into being and not being. It's really cool. So, and from here, because the whole ship Zariman was lost within the void for some time, it's attached to the Deviri in a manner of these sort of, I guess, time-space dimensional warps, vortexes, pockets, strip streams. Not sure what you want to call them. But yeah, so this is actually the ship Zariman that is now sort of coexisting between the void space and the Deviri and the solar system of that Earth and this alternate or super far away future solar system exists of our own. So with the Deviri in mind, and let's see here, there also too then came to be the aspect of, and this is actually rather more expensive than you think, and these are private quarters, but we won't go in there because it's might give away too much. It's a little more than behind the scenes in the way that I'm sort of, like I said, blending and weaving the myth and lore within Warframe to have a cohesive, in my opinion, role-playing experience. So I hope that sort of fills in some of those, some of the understanding in the way that, like I said, the ideas you can pull from. And like I said, when they introduced Warframe 1999 and the Hex Quest, you then started to get this other manner in which you can role play and pull concepts into, into your ideas, because you now have this a circumstance where you're going back and forward in time. You're going back and forward in time, and to me, the way I'm making sense of it, I've applied to how I'm role playing this gap between the quest and the finale. So it's like every time, which kind of brings you to what it just said, January 6, 1999. Right now, I'm still in January 6, 1999. Every time I load into the game. And what was I going to say? Just taking a look at this menu here real quick because I'm still familiarizing myself with everything. Right. The calendar. Okay, chat. All right. So yes. So at the quest end, like I said, if it's a spoiler, just fast forward a little bit here. This. But yeah, this is all backstory context to what I'm going to explain, and the why, the who, the when, the what, as far as the behind the scenes, to give you a good context and understand where the series, how the series will sort of play out as far as how I'm role playing. So let me get my thoughts together here. The quest, the way that it leaves you at the end of it, it sends what seems to be your consciousness back in time, so to speak. and not your physical form. And because, you know, there's a catastrophe that you need to prevent, and of course you need to save the Hex in order to prevent that catastrophe from happening, which is regarded as the murmur. So and then you find yourself at the, you know, after what you think was a death, and you kind of, it was interesting doing the quest, your hand gets injured. So when you come back into, you know, when Albrecht sends you back in time, you are here, your Tenno looks, you know, the way he does, no problem. And let's see, let me think. There's no injury or to be seen. You know, take too much probably for DE to keep that consistent. But by making it an aspect of your consciousness coming back in time, it gives way more flexibility in the manner in which things can come about and what Warframe will bring to us, as well as the creativity you could have in the process of it. And what's funny is there was a small bug in the system where when you came out the quest, you could interact with this creature here. And I did not mean to do that because I wasn't sure if something weird was going to happen. Okay, yeah, so you can interact with it. So yeah, this is the tell for it. And hold on, let me pull up my what do you call it, HUD, because that's what's going to tell you. Right, you'll have a indicator Calmos here, and I haven't clicked on it. You know what I mean? And so, yeah, this was my first time clicking or activating this. And it says, strengthen your connection to the Hex members before revisiting the New Year's Eve disaster. So this is your tell that there is a finale to be had or something that can be undone. And you're standing in the center of this circumstance. And like I said, Albrecht seems to do something in a matter to send your consciousness back in time so you can... Because, you know, your Tenno's like, I want to save them. He's like, well, first you must know them. So you have to, you know, build this chemistry up with them and, you know, make that happen. So, yeah. Let me move my camera out the way because this is really cool. Like I said, I hadn't seen this before. This is dope. So, yeah. And so with the points that I'm bringing up about how the Hex Quest ends in a way your consciousness, in my opinion, goes back in time to your physical form at that other time, I was like, oh, this is interesting. And it seems like the way this is set up, when you interact with this to go to this event, it's going to bring your consciousness to the point at which this Nexus event happened that cannot be it has to be undone in the manner in which it was done in every single way. So it's not like you can physically time travel back to that point because you'll be different. You'll be different too in that time, and that'll probably fuck up something. So it's your consciousness is going back to your physical form. Okay. And so with that in mind, this particular existence of things moves forward in time in its own way than this point in time that your consciousness will go back to in this catastrophe. So if all goes well and our Tenno Wadidja saves the day and saves the Hex, we'll come back to some element or merger of this of time and events and circumstances to bring us back to a merger of all that we're doing here to get to the finale. Hope that makes sense. And so in the quest, my Tenno had short hair. And so my Tenno, let's see here. Yeah, my operator is also the other reference for it. Was wearing this outfit, and he also too had short hair, but there was really more to the point because hold on. With PS5 Pro, the detail on things is showing up really clearly, and certain hairstyles they need to do another little pass on. They're not right on the hairline. To me, I like this one the best, but I was working with this one because at one time it worked a little bit better in not seeing this weird shape up or hairline, or it just wasn't right. I feel like since the update, they've been doing some subtle behind the scenes hot fixes because his hairline, everything it was worse even then. But like I said, see, with this one here, it's not quite right. So like I said, at one time I was running around with this one, but you can still see this needs to be forward a little bit more, this bottom line on the hairline, and everything would be gravy. But they have big plans for redoing our Tenno, our operators in a manner, I think, in detail of the Protoframe skins that we have now, because they're really, really, really nice. And it would be great to give us a refresh on things. So bottom line is, I didn't find, or I didn't think to even look for this hairstyle, which I believe is fairly new. And it wasn't until I was just frustrated with this because, like I said, they've done a little balance pass on this ball here, because at one point in time it was looking janky. So I'm glad that it's looking a little bit better than it was even before when I was setting up things for the quest. But basically, when we go back in time, he's going to look like he did when we were in the quest, which was that. And I have some nice little ways of sort of making things come together well when I present the footage, because when I do the footage for the finale quest, number one, it's not very long. Number two, because of the way I'm going to kind of create a nice little montage, or of a little quick cinematic and collection of things in the beginning to kind of bring you up to speed at the transition to the finale. And then I'm going to give you a nice little transition after the finale, because there's some other key moments that do happen, and we'll want to see those. Like I said, I'm going to put that together off camera and upload that on the channel. So like I said, I got big plans for that. The way I'm going to kind of bring that together, and also and the collage of things that will kind of give you sort of say the story so far, and and then go into the finale. Will be of moments from the Hex Quest, as well as various different aspects of the things that I will explain about how I'm going to incorporate everything I've told you about the Warframe universe, and the Hex Quest, and the various different bounties that will have to take place, and each one of the bounties. No! Shoo, boy! Oh lordy! I almost had a heart attack. All I need to do is hover over to see. So each one of the bounties will typically involve or can involve a co-op or team up with a Hex member. And let's see. Well, don't they have a fast travel? So I thought they had a. Oh yeah, this is the fast travel for it. I was like, don't they have a fast travel for them all? Just want to pop over here real quick so I can. I think this is a different board in a way certain things are displayed. This is an actual bounty board. Right. So, right. And I think it's yeah. Here we go. So all the bounties do correspond to each one of the Hex members, and that's how you also to build up syndicate points. And I believe some of this helps go towards your chemistry, but your chemistry is kind of an interactive thing with the little computer there and their little social chat thing, which that'll be part of the episodes within the series leading up to the finale. And so that's going to be very enjoyable to do. So let's see here. So like I said, still getting used to the fast travel system that they've set up with this, which is just super great. Super awesome. So yes. So the backstory of things, like I said, or the elements that I'm drawing from the universe is, has been explained. So the question is, why have I sort of chosen some of the elements that I have to sort of put things into place the way I have? Like I said, the Gemini skins are absolutely phenomenal. The fact that we can use the emotes to change to and from a Hex member is super awesome. So, and it's interesting, there are more than one way to do so. Let's see, let me just choose something real quick here.
My day just got a whole lot better.
So, let me just do it this way because it's a little cleaner. So this is a Warframe without the Gemini skin. If you have a Warframe without the Gemini skin and you go ahead and you activate your emote, you're going to change into the first guise of author.
Shall we begin?
That you have in your presets. Okay, if you and like I said, first guise meaning like, well, if this slot here has a Warframe in it, as you see, because the skin actually changes them from a Warframe to a Protoframe with the same abilities of your Warframe or same abilities that you have set up for that Warframe. That's a better way to put it. So, like I said, even though I'll show you better example. Even though I switched this to a Warframe, I'll go back to this other one here. So, no.
Watch yourself.
Get button frenzy here. Which one was it that I? Yeah, this is the one. So if I go back to the E or this image here, or not image, but that preset for this loadout, and I select the author Gemini emote, again, like I said, it's going to take the first author in your
calling on me. Must be serious.
Your presets that you have assigned. Now, what I just did might confuse you because I have my preset with an author in it, and it looks just like the default author. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to take that off so that you're going to see this. And this is also to showing you how the proto skins work, but also to gives you another behind the scenes understanding of why I've been motivated and why I'm doing what I'm doing with the role play. So see how like I said, it always will go to the first available Protoframe Gemini skin that you have equipped, which, like I said, changes the way the game understands or looks directly at your character as a Protoframe. For some odd reason, unfortunately, we cannot have all Protoframe skins or Gemini skins in each one of these. Oh shit! Messing up something, and you'll see why I have things set up the way I have it in a little bit. But yeah, when you equip a Protoframe Gemini skin in each one of your loadout slots, what will happen is you can select any one of these, and it doesn't matter. And another big pro tip is that once you have changed things around with these skins in relationship to the Proto skins, make sure you go into your loadout place where you can save your loadouts and just select another loadout. Doesn't matter what it is. Come out of the armory, arsenal. Excuse me. Go back in, and then go back to whatever the loadout was that you were dealing with, and then test whatever it is you're doing. If you don't do that, for some odd reason, the memory for your loadout and the way the Gemini skins are in or not in will get flipped out, and will give you unexpected results when you go through your change. But what has happened now, because I have equipped an Author Gemini skin in each one of my loadout slots, the game gives me a default author to run with. And I know you might think that it's pulling on this, and what I'll do is I will...
Shall we begin?
Yeah, I'll just change this around in some way. And by the way, another pro tip here, the thing you may miss is that your attachments also to change aspects of your Protoframe Gemini skin. So make sure you go in here and either and hit default for also to your selections here, so that for your selections here, so that you know what the skin looks like at its default, and then go ahead and put your colors on it. Even if you have things looking like you might want it to, that's my best suggestion, so you know what is being changed on the suit. Okay. And then, like I said, you can go to your attachments and also to change further colors on the suit. I can copy the main colors as you see here. And this is where you're going to change the straps for the outfit, and also to these various different things embedded into the outfit are considered attachments. So that's the big takeaway in the first ever for these Protoframe skins. So when you do all this, realize too, another big cool thing is that the energy color on the skin actually will change the eye color, which is super awesome. You can change the eye color. Let's see, wait a minute. It's not, you can't do a random individually, but yeah, I'll choose red, as you can see. I can do green, purple, and so make them glow a little bit more. But each one of these colors changes a different aperture of it. So this one here actually changes the outside eye color, and it's kind of hard to see. Oh yeah, you can see it a little bit now because of the color I chose. But yeah, so you see this blue halo around the kind of pale yellow goldish kind of color, which is super dope. That's actually what I did for my Tenno and for him in the way of them. I always look at it as though the lights or the power or the energy that you see coming from them is sort of a unique each person will express it differently, or each Warframe, it's sort of an individual thing. And so that's also too why his eye color is a little bit different than his default version. And I'll explain that later when I get to a little bit more about, like I said, the behind the scenes about what you'll see unfold in the series as things go on each day as I build the Syndicate and get to the finale. So like I said, I've changed this here so that you're not going to think that the game is choosing this when I choose my emote. I mean, all I did was change the colors, but I've been through so many issues trying to decipher the riddle behind the various different bugs and weird or just oddities that you'll come across using the Protoframe skins and the emote. When you're switching stuff around and coming out, ooh, what is this going to do? How's this going to look? What is that going to change me into looking like? Yeah, so I always clear the memory, come out, and then hit my emote so that I know that I'm getting a reliable result and an expected result. So like I said, because you've actually equipped each one of your loadouts with the Protoframe skin, you have you get a default author, essentially. And on top of that, the default author has a different animation set than what you have. So I have no animation set, and that's another aspect that ties into my role playing. So, like I said, you hit it, boom. And so you get to have like an interesting both worlds with this situation. Now, keep in mind, it would be a whole lot simpler if when you equip your Gemini skin, you get another little tab here for, say, toggle emote preset, which will give you the ability to click on this, and then I guess it would have maybe some way to select each one of these or each one of your looks of that you like, regardless of whether it's a Gemini skin or a Warframe. To me, you should be able to take a Gemini skin of author and turn it into another Gemini skin of author. What's the big deal? You know, you can go from a Warframe to a Gemini skin, and you know, so like, hang on, let's do it like this.
Well, what kind of hellscape adventure are we on
So
today?
you can go from a Warframe to a Gemini skin, and you can go from a Gemini skin to a Warframe. But you can't go from a Gemini skin to a Gemini skin. So in my opinion, the toggle should allow us to select which skin we want to go to, regardless of whether or not it's a Warframe or a Gemini skin or Protoframe. So like I said, you can go from a Protoframe to a Warframe, no problem. You can go from a Warframe to a Protoframe Gemini skin, no problem. So you can role play like that all day to your heart's content. But what you can't do is go from a Protoframe Gemini skin to another Protoframe Gemini skin. And bear in mind too, the Gemini skins have no helmet. Everything's built into the body skin, the head, the attachments. So you know, you go to body skin or you know, this is your body skin tab, head, helmet, or whatever, and that's how you select it. And like I said, for me and my role playing, because the game's going to give me a default author for hold on. Oh, that's right. I can't. It's so new that you have built-in attachments to the skins. Like even now that I know to go over here and hit default colors, like I was looking at it and going, why didn't the straps change? And that's what led to my first debacle, man. I was like, why can't I change the straps? They really need to give you a description, update the description for these Gemini skins to let you know all of what you can do. Because, I mean, you can miss so much and never know. Or until you see something to tell you that is different, or you just happenstance experiment the right way. But like I said, I was experimenting for role playing, trying to decipher the code, so to speak, and this is what's up. So like I said, I have this kind of in here just for sort of, say, role playing elements that, like I said, I'll get to later, and also too for explanation and reference. Because the thing is that I'm not going to be accessing any of these. Well, you'll see when the series goes on what I mean by that. But well, I put it this way: I'm not going to be switching from this to any of these here. So, like I said, because I discovered this, and I don't know if it's intended or if it's a bug. I personally hope that they have plans to allow us to select any Gemini skin we choose to, or any skin we choose to, even if it's a Gemini skin, regular Warframe or Gemini. So in the meantime, I'm going to take advantage of the fact that I can kind of role play in this duality, in this way, and tie this into a nice concept along with the what the Warframe lore provides. But yeah, another tip about this is that when you do this, it kind of becomes the default kind of almost replaces your preset, the way to what it thinks is your preset. So you would think that I could go ahead and hit the emote and turn back into my other my preset look, but it's not going to do that. It stays as author, or rather default author. And so you can play around with the emote all day and it's not going to do it. What is going to make it you go back to your preset look of your Gemini skin is going to your armory or changing your instance. And there's another exception here with this too that I'll show you in a second. The instance that you're in, if you're in the case of Umbra and probably any other Warframe, it's just that you won't see them move around. And you probably won't know the difference between the instance where your Warframe can move around or not if you don't have Umbra. But with Umbra, he has a degree of autonomy. So within this instance, Umbra doesn't move, but he's conscious. So as you see, Author blinks, and Author would even talk to you sometimes. Which is another interesting point I'll show you here, is that you actually can turn off the audio in regard to the Gemini voices if you want to, which is cool. Nevertheless, though, with like I said, he won't come out of this unless you go into your armory. So now I have my regular look. Another way that the default author will go away is when you change instances, and that can happen in a given any given situation if it's there to be had. So like right here, just going from this place to this switches him back into his the preset. Okay, now, and I'll show you this here too. Like I said, this is an instance where Umbra will has autonomy, so you can see that he's moving around, and it's real cool to actually see, to have your Protoframe skin just Author just running around with you. It's super dope. Another aspect I'm adding to the roleplay with the series. So, and again, when no matter the instance, when you switch to the default author, he will be sort of say, he's almost replacing your Warframe, like the way your Tenno kind of comes into to presence when you transfer out from your operator station through your Warframe to this point in place, wherever you are. So as you saw, when I came out of my Warframe, or transferred through my Warframe to this point in place, because you're not technically in your Warframe, your consciousness is in it, is inhabiting it. Yeah, because kind of saying going in and out of your Warframe sounds too pervy, and that's not really what's happening. Either way, it's your consciousness, not your physical form. Your physical form can come into the presence existence in a manner that Tenno had this ability of transference, and that's also part of the reason why I believe Albrecht was able to send you to and from through time in the manner that he's doing to prevent a circumstance from happening. At least that's even what's being used, I believe, through the computer, with the computer sending your consciousness to 1999 and back to the current era in Warframe universe. So back to the Gemini skin that you can kind of have the default. So like I said, when you go back into your Umbra or your Warframe, if you're using a different Gemini skin, he goes back to his default, which is super cool. So again, that's another aspect that I'm going to blend into the role play. So yeah, it's loving it a lot. And I had a thought to say something else, but like I said, it's all about the instance change in which he comes through here, and I think I summed it all up on that. As far as the Gemini skin, what it can do, your pitfalls, how to avoid them, and how to take advantage of this here.
I'll take it from here.
So, with all that in mind, that, I believe, explains the why to what has motivated me to create this series, along with all the other elements that I've missed previously, especially the way the Hex Quest sort of, like I said, sets you up for an excellent continuing experience. I'm trying to see, there's this tab in here. I'm trying to remember, here it is, that shows you some interesting information. Was it just the way? Here it is. Here it is. I just like this. I just like the imagery that this provides you, where it kind of highlights the abilities. And you may, if you're a veteran, realize something interesting too, which I'll explain. That my Umbra has radial blind. Another element that we can do with role playing. So yeah, I hope this behind the scenes can help others in their creativity to their role play, and the various different ideas that you can have with things. Let's see. So on to, like I said, so on to the who, as far as the cast, so to speak. Like I said,
if you wouldn't mind,
first cast member, first and foremost, of course, is Tenno Wadidja. And like I said, he has now come back to not January 6, 1999, before, what is this, do the math. Just before midnight, January 6th, just before New Year's Eve. It's after New Year's Eve. It's after New Year's Eve. Huh? What? That's right. When you come into that, just talking about this, I just realized a particular point that I may have stated, but then just didn't register in my head. Right. So, that's right. So you're like 25 days or so before New Year's Eve, and the events that happened at the end of the Hex Quest actually happened New Year's Eve. Which is, no. See this, I'm almost confused myself. My bad. January 6th is after New Year's Eve. So I'm thinking it's like December 6th. For some odd reason, I'm thinking that he's sending you, man, I tell you, I've been so caught up with this Gemini skin phenomena, I hadn't really paid attention. Shame on me. But that's fine. It's fine. It's not messing up anything. This is part of the reason, too, why I did this behind-the-scenes thing, to make sure I'm not skipping or missing some particular. And this is a big particular. So he sends you forward in time which is after... No. What? Huh? Wait a minute. Why is this confusing me now? Wait a minute. Hold on. Navigation. I just want to see that date pop up again. What the... Hold on a minute. Like... Because this doesn't, like, negate what I was saying about how there's going to be a merger of events when you come out of the finale from what was done up until the... Okay, I think a good way to kind of look at this is that you succeed, period. The point of succeeding exists. This existence that you exist in is proof of that point. Another thing I'm weaving into this that I'll explain when we get to the character involved with it, it will reflect the fact that everything succeeds. But in order for everything to exceed, as
too far off.
Okay, as Albrecht stated, you need to know them. So he's able to send you to a point in place of, in 1999 that still exists after the catastrophe as proof that you can succeed to know them. Right. Okay. So the only thing that really changes in the point of what I was explaining earlier about, the context that I'm working with is that actually, no, I think I did explain it right. I just didn't have it square. I didn't have things arranged in my head right. Even though I said the right thing, it just wasn't arranged in my head right. That's the Warframe universe for you. So yeah, like I said, you do succeed. You go back in time, technically. But your physical form is not going back because, I don't want to give away this particular point, but just trust me, you're not. And like the events that happened New Year's Eve, like your Tenno's right hand was injured pretty badly. His right hand wouldn't have healed. It wouldn't have healed that fast. So in a way, this 1999 or this particular January 6, 99, like I said, is proof that you do succeed, but I almost want to think that it's one in which this murmur didn't happen. Either way, we don't need to solve that particular riddle to still enjoy the role play and the idea that I have for it. So the Tenno is here doing his thing to build up the relationships and looking forward to the romance. The second character is going to be Arthur himself. The thing is that this is not this timeline's, or it's well, not the timeline. This is not this author per se. It's another author. It's another author that will be. This is another author that will be. All right. So keep that. So that's how I'm role playing the situation. This is the author of this particular existence. This author exists, put it this way. He exists. But during the series, in the way that he exists is not the way this author exists. This is the permanent author of this timeline. Tell by the stance. That also too helps differentiate them. No, excuse me. Yeah. This he is. But this is a younger version than the one that we will see afterwards, after the finale. This younger version is in play, and you'll see when and how, and you'll see him doing my little series. It'll just be real brief, but you'd be like, wait a minute, his hair isn't as pale or as gray as this one. It's not as dark as that one. Either way, this is the permanent of the current era of Warframe's universe that your operator exists in. So is this one, but there's a difference. You can tell by the animation. The Nidus Noble is my favorite for Umbra, in the way that it has a really cool idol. The tie to me works very well with the how that he makes when he, instead of the radial blind. But that's also too the reason why this author has just radial blind. It's also too part of the role play in regard to the paradox of situations that we have here. Either way, this is the sort of say pinnacle form, in my opinion, to want to put on the Umbra shroud. But it's interesting the way the Warframes grow their pieces out of themselves. It seemingly, it's like it's hard to see what's attached, what actually grew out of them. But yeah, so, and this author here is the same as this author, but this author, you'll see also too when the series comes to play, is that where you see this particular author. But this is the same author as this author. It's just that he's in he's in between states, in between existences, and essentially the Tenno is able to bring him, stabilize him essentially in this reality, in this existence, in this time, in this every way, so that he can help with the situation and knowing them as best he can. The thing is, he don't even remember a lot of shit. Like, he don't remember how he came into this. He don't even remember how. Last thing he remember, he looked like this, and he's like, "What the hell? How did this come to be?" So, those will be little things I'll tell along the way and share as the series goes on. So, and like I said, it's just really cool how you can use various different aspects of cosmetics, because this here is a cosmetic that comes from a Warframe that has these sort of time manipulation abilities, Protea. But yeah, it's called Temporal Prime. It came with Prime Access, but you can get that when the Prime Access comes around again. None of these things are sort of say exclusive. You're not going to miss out. They'll come around again. But what's cool is that, like I said, with the various different environments that you have and the storyline they're in, you can really kind of rip kind of crazy on just how you might want to be creative. And like I said, and then you have other elements like this you can tie into the circumstance, which is this Captura, which allows you to actually fully interact with any tile set. And if there's an NPC a part of it, they'll be there as well. You'll have access to your abilities, your armory, all kinds of cool stuff. So you can kind of create some really cool imagery if you want. In my opinion, it's nice to use the codex to or your scanner, just in your equipment, and then you can walk around without your weapon if you want to get some good imagery of no weapon use and what have you. So I'm in now the Cave of Deviri, which is super cool, which is what I explained earlier in regard to how this seems to be a nexus point for a lot of weird stuff and parallel existences, things like that. And got the wise sage Teshin in here, so the stage is set very nicely for what will be presented in the imagery and in aspects of the gameplay. But this will help you make sense of like I said, what you will see as things unfold and the reasons why. And what's cool is that, like I said, when you use these emotes to change into the default in the way that I have it set up, so with having a loadout slot with each Gemini skin, they don't have the ephemeras, they don't have any of the attachments, they don't have anything. So it's like it's just mad dope. It's like you're just changing completely into somebody else in the way that it's set up, and again, like I said, it doesn't matter the instance you're in. You can't change back until the instance changes, or you go to your armory. And like I said, I'm role playing that in the scenario, that limitation. And like I said, they need to go ahead and allow us to assign any Gemini, any preset we have with a Gemini skin to the emote when you change. That would solve everything, and give so much more possibilities of creativity and fashion framing, for that matter. So like I said, with this here in the Captura, the only difference with this here is with the default is that when you go to your arsenal, he won't automatically, like, your arsenal will show that what's correct as far as the correct preset that you're using and the correct customizations therein. But then when you come out, he'll flip back to this other guy's. Like I said, the only thing you need to do is just similar to the fix that I explained earlier. In case you run across anything, so far for me, nothing, anything unexpected that happened, as long as I go in, select another build loadout, you can come out, just to keep the habit, but to re-clear the memory and then go back and reselect my build, and everything's gravy. Now, when you're in Captura, I've never had an issue where you had to take it that far, because what I mean by that, there's like two other ways to kind of clear the memory, but the other two aren't 100%. Now, it seems to be 100% in Captura, but that's, who knows why. It's maybe, like I said, I think it's all tied to a memory issue. Sometimes you have a memory issue, you can just just select the same loadout again, and you should be fine. But I've seen errors still occur or maintain themselves, and but they're not reliable, and there's no telling when they're going to change or not stay what they are. So I'm not tying that into role playing. I'm not even trying to do it, because in my opinion, that's going into a glitch, and what I'm showing you just happens to be maybe something unfinished and available to us until they finish it. That's what I think. Either way, another way you could do it is just click on another build, but then not come out of your arsenal and go back in. That's not 100% as far as clearing the memory. Select another build, coming out, going back into your arsenal, selecting what you really intend again is how you do that. I think this is buggy, for you to have to do that, for the memory to get confused like that when all you're doing is just changing skins and this, that, and the other. To me, it shouldn't do that, but it is. So like I said, I think they know DE and the devs. I'm sure they own it. So we'll see what happens. Hopefully, I'll get through to what I need to save the Hex series, and now I'm role playing, just in case this goes away. Just in case this thing goes away here with the ability to change into a default. So
you have to admit,
yeah, but if it changes in a way that is better, or we can select any preset, yeah, I'm on it like Flint, and I can still maintain what I've done and or the way I'm role playing. So Deviri, Deviri in Teshin's Cave is another behind the scenes look of and details behind what's going on here. So yeah, I covered also too the when and the where earlier when also too, that's pretty much our character set, by the way, and we also too don't want to forget our faithful Huras. I love the Huras. Now if I'm not running with the Huras, which can turn you invisible and all kinds of cool, super cool, the pets in the game are awesome. I'll probably be running with, if I'm unsure of like how things may go, I may be running with my Vasca, which looks a lot like have its style to look a lot like Albrecht's cat, or whatever this thing is, Calamos, I guess, yeah. And so yeah, I was like, maybe I should. I think I should talk about as far as the characters are concerned. Like I said, don't want to go too much further past. I wish the cinematic is a little buggy right now. Like kneeling into the cat. Ugh. I love these cinematics, but for some odd reason, sometimes used in certain areas, it just looks a little weird. It gets buggy in some kind of weird way. But the point I was trying to make to you is that understanding the distinction too in the role play I'm giving, and because, like I said, I'm switching to this default author here, it was important for the sake of the role play, because default author has radial blind. He don't have radial howl, which is the default for Umbra, and also to here it is, radial howl. So that's he lets out this roar, which is also too very detrimental to the Sentients, which is another enemy faction. But I don't like being without all my tools, regardless of the circumstance. So therefore, I'm used to what it's going to do and why it does it, and I like to role play. So like, if you're howling all the time and all of a sudden you're not howling all the time, like I may actually do this. Like, it's like, why is he howling if it's not necessary? Like, if I'm not fighting Sentients, I may stick with this radio howl build. I don't know. We'll see how times go. But regardless, back to the point, regular author doesn't howl. So therefore, you can go to your Helminth, as it's called. And also too, this is how the Protoframes were created. Albrecht took a version of the Technocyte virus and put it into this Helminth thing that actually can give Warframes various different other abilities that you can take from other Warframes, and the Helminth itself can produce its own set of abilities that you can change or slot out, you can infuse, as it's called, into any one of your other Warframe abilities. So the creativity and the variety of which you can DE. Got this. And I'm just saying, this is off the chain. You can even do invigorations. Anyway, this is super dope. Another story to all of what was involved with all this. But nevertheless, though, this Helminth system and the fact that it can kind of embed Warframe abilities into your character is another reason why I like running around with Umbra as part of the role play, because he's sentient. Also, too, in my role play, this author, this author survives, goes forward in time. Like I said, you'll understand that he, what was I gonna say? Does eventually change into this guy's here, as well as this guy's here. So how does he go from a radial blind to a radial howl in an Umbra to Helminth? It's basically the answer to that in the way I'm role playing it. So like I said, those elements too, you'll see how that also to show itself within the the series. You'll see that briefly if you watch the whole thing. Well, just it's a part. Put it this way: just some of these things are going to be part of a. I'm not going to tell you. Fine, you'll see. But yeah, this is excellent for the role play. Excellent to be able to give, like I said, because this author is operating within this as a part of this author's existence, as well as this one. But he's really called to this 1999, to this point in time, through, in my opinion,
Give us a Owen.
our operator. Because, being touched by the void energy, the operator's transference to, he tried in the quest to transfer into Arthur. Arthur was frightened. He was like, "What the?" And that was the initial seed or tie to them being linked in a way that this author, when the murmur occurred, but then Albert's like, we need to prevent this, so we want to. Well, when the catastrophe occurred, excuse me, the murmur hasn't happened yet. That's right. But when the catastrophe happened, because it's such a pivotal point in time in which it can or cannot prevent the murmur, this element, this aspect of author got fragmented, and essentially a piece of it got picked up in Deviri, the Deviri paradox, of which there's a nexus from that to the Zeramin into our universe. But bottom line is, when this here reflects that distortion of when him being fractured. Meeting Teshin in the cave, he's stumbled on, he's kind of drawn to Teshin, because Teshin's also tied to your Tenno. There's like, I got you, and brings our Tenno essentially to him to transfer to him and give him stability in order to help the circumstance. Because for me in my role play, when I interact with the NPC default author, this in my role play is helping my Tenno build the relationships that he does as fast as he does with the other members of the Hex, because they're like, yo, this author, we can make, we're going to this okay, we got you, bro. Basically, if you with our main dude, and obviously this is whatever's happening, we're going to come out right. And if he found you, then obviously it's not because he don't like you. So yeah, we got you. And of course, you know, with charm and charisma, we're going to win the day. Some good gifts, you know what I'm saying? So that's how I'm role playing this. And so like I said, because he's tied to this time frame's author in the way that he is, and we transform into a default version, and also too because of the way the Gemini skins operate. You know, when I use the emote to go to this author here, so I can't do it while I'm as a Tenno. You can't use your emotes while you're a Tenno. But when I switch to this author here, my power set, my abilities, and everything else won't change.
What kind of hellscape adventure are we
So,
in today?
but that's okay. That still works to me with me in the way that the game handles this transference thing, in the way that it does. But because of this paradox that I, woven into my role play, in a way, and because of the Gemini emote and what that's offering for you in the role play of the game, yeah, that's, I can have this author step in. I can have this author step in with this author because this author remembers what the fuck's going on. This author knows stuff in a way that this author doesn't quite remember. Like I said, because he's so fragmented. His mind is also too fragmented in a way that isn't as helpful as you think. Besides his presence. Nevertheless, because it's really going to be up to, the ultimate hero is our Tenno.
If you wouldn't mind.
It's got to be up to our Tenno to know them and to save the day. It's just that I'm role playing with this author here because we have the ability to enjoy these skins this way. So yeah, so that explains to, like I said, why we're using radial blind for our abilities, and then plus two, we're not going to be fighting Ascensions in 1999, I don't think. We're not going to be dealing with anything basically that would require the radial howl in regard to it dealing with, see, cause Ascensions to shed any built-up resistances. Super beneficial. I mean, mind you, there's various different weapons that can do that, and also you can switch weapons to handle that. But also too, if you can transfer out of your consciousness out of your Warframe to become tangible, you have your void abilities because they are children of the void. Oh, the concept, I'm geeking. I'm digging it the most. So. Yeah. Just double checking my list here on making sure I cover all my points. So yeah, I also explained to what will be done in regard to, like I said, dealing with the bounties, building our relationships, playing out this scenario for this author to assist in the manner that he will with the Hex, giving you the backstory about the various different elements of the universe within Warframe that can inspire this sort of role-playing situation I'm enjoying. And I explained the characters in the manner that they've come together to do all that they're doing.
What do you need?
So, yeah, I mean, if there's anybody checking things out and have a question, please go ahead and ask. Let's see. 1 second. Oh, Yeah, that's fine. Okay, my bad.
Anytime.
Let's see. Just want to make sure. Okay, use the Emote thing.
You cool?
As we go through, take a look at them all real quick.
Eyes open.
Oh, I was just thinking about you.
Yeah, Eleanor.
Goodbye for now.
¿Qué onda?
I love what they've done with these Proto-Armor skins. I'm telling you,
Lo
it's just,
tienes, my friend.
the element of, like I said, the role play and what you have at your disposal is super dope.
Cool.
Because, like I said, this first time they don't say that. I mean, they know they're providing a human face to the Warframes, which has been long anticipated.
Later.
Because I mean, pretty much since day one, people were creating fan art, imagining what the Warframes would look like under the helmet, or if they had a human face. A lot of people straight up were thinking that the Warframes looked human under their they don't. In my opinion, they don't. Yeah, because like
with you, eh?
they mutate in such a way that and I guess let's see, I can show you here, because with Umbra, he was the only one too that also gave you a sneak peek into that circumstance as to exactly just how mutated the human body becomes with the Technocyte virus to become a Warframe. And with, let's see,
Together again.
yeah, you can just choose that.
Shall we begin?
They gave you a default helmet for Armor, and by the way, they need to take a page out of the First Ascendant's book and allow us the ability to have multiple mod socket types, or multiple polarity types in Warframe for our mod slots, because you only get one Umbra. I can't do like what I did for my Excalibur back in the day before Ember came out, because nobody had access to Prime except for the founders. So I had a standard Warframe for years. I mean, of course I leveled my other ones up, used them when necessary, but I'm an Excalibur main, so I main them. But yeah, I had 5-6 different Excaliburs, in which case, I had them all formed a different way, with different polarities to compensate for whatever situation I wanted to deploy my Excalibur. And of course, I had like this piece de resistance, my first Excalibur, was the one I did all my testing on. I formatted him 24 times to understand what to do for all these individual distinct builds, as well as when it came to Umbra himself. When he came out, I didn't need to really format him that many times to get everything exactly the way I wanted it, even after they came out with other mods that would be beneficial or in some kind of way, shape, or form. So I've only formed him, and I'm particular, and I like to have a universal build where I can take him anywhere and do anything. But because we can do different builds like this, that's okay. I can change different mods in it, but it's only if the mods correspond to the polarities we have set. If not, you'd be dealing with negatives and all kinds of stuff. And yeah, it would be great if we could flip things around. So, I mean, with a lot of careful planning, I've made it work. But my gosh, there's some other things that I wouldn't mind doing that, even with my rearranging and the capacity that I have, I can't do certain things. But there's a lot that I can do. Like I said, I had the time and the effort. So like I said, you got questions about Excalibur? You got questions about Umbra? Come on home. It's all good. I got you. So yeah, so as you can see here, back to my point, I'm sorry I derailed for a second. what DE has done in these proto frames and highlighting a further stage and understanding how the technocyte virus can mutate the body. They've given us a human face, and this here with Umbra shows you the extent of how deep the mutation goes. You know, this here, what you see sitting on his head, people think that's a piece of a helmet. That is part of his flesh. The Warframe exterior is like an outside layer of skin. There's metal growing from it in various different ways, and like this, it's attached to everything is grown. It's phenomenal. I love the concept. It's a hide in a way, but underneath you see these vestiges of what was human. But Excalibur, as you see on the exterior, have no eyes. He's blind. He's blind as a bat, and that's kind of cool. How, like I said, look, he's blind. Arthur's blind his left eye. It's the one that actually shows the most emission of energy, or he's not. You know, I don't know. Maybe he's not completely blind, but he's reflecting the mutation that Umbra has, or will, you know, Excalibur will be. Because, like I said, whether it's Umbra or whether it's just regular Excalibur, same thing goes. I mean, you look at these various different skins for him, and they tied some of these to the Arthurian legend too, like the Avalon helmet, the mythical island where Arthur went to recover from his wounds to return one day. They even have this Pendragon helmet. This one seems to have eyes, but very mutated. You know, rarely do you see eyes, but it's cool that they did for that. These could possibly be interpreted as eyes, but these are created by other people. Tenno, you can actually create Warframe skins for them based on their default skins and earn a profit. Not earn a profit, but you can get residuals from the sales of them. They do share that with the creators of these skins, so it's real cool. But nonetheless, though, the Warframes are very mutated. And again, Umbra, in my opinion, really highlighted that point with his optional helmet. But with these skins here, like if you look on all, it's details real fine, but you can see how his flesh is beginning to mutate. And I feel that's another reason why they call this stuff tech rot. It's rotting their flesh, in their opinion. But it's not all at once. It's mutation. It's patterned. I hope DE comes out with more skins that reflect the variation in the way the mutation can take place, or give a little bit more revealing, I guess, a little bit more provocative display of some of the males and the females, whichever they are. Because like Letty, you can see how with Letty on her leg here, how the tech rot, the technocyte virus has mutated her flesh into a Warframe, and then other parts are still human. So if there's other, to kind of show other areas which kind of reflect that across their whole body, show all the different areas that are still flesh, as long as they're not violating it, some kind of vulgar standard or whatever, it would be great to see more flesh. Bottom line, more flesh. We want the flesh.
So we got a job, or this just another joyride?
Let's see, Aoi is another one where you can see that aspect in her hand. So yeah, like I said, I was just showing you those highlights, those other elements of part of the backstory. Not backstory, but creativity and reasons for why, like, I'm doing what I'm doing with this role playing. It's just so inspiring. And also too, like I said, all this ties back to their first iteration. And what's interesting is that, like I said, with the way that he looks with his metal here, you can even see metal, like his fingers have all, that they have they're Warframe. His fingers are Warframe. He has no human fingers. I don't know if you can see that detail. Yeah, here we go. It's good. It's good. Right. So, again, this is, let's see. Did I change it out? No, hang on. Let me pull this up.
Ready to ride.
Right. So it's Warframe's hand, his hand. Yeah. And then there's still yet, like,
calling on me.
There's the Protoframe.
Must be serious.
Proto-Armor. And like I said, this came from the Dark Sector, which is the predecessor to Warframe, and Hayden Tenno, and you can see the mutation here, which is a lot more similar to authors. To me, DE didn't skip a beat. DE didn't skip a beat. I love it. I love it. I love it. But here's another example how flesh and metal and material just merge into each other or grown out of itself. It's just... So yeah. So I'm a fan. Big fan. Big fan. I had thought about actually incorporating the aspect of the Protoframe into all this too, but if I was able to do a preset for each one of my, if I could set a preset for this transformation with the emote, I would have did that, because I could have switched from this author to this author, no problem, and use a Warframe and dance between them as well. But I can still do that. I can still do that now. You know what I'm saying? I could equip and switch and play it out that way. But again, I would then have to. It'd be too much switching for me to go ahead and then go, okay, well,
here we go.
Yeah, and like I said, all this is going to be playing out live each day. You know what I'm saying? Each day I want to be enjoying, getting through this. I'm going to be playing out this series live broadcast. To me, this is just too much to have to go through. It's too cumbersome to have to go through this. Why wouldn't it select? There we go. This is too cumbersome. To go through if I decided to still take advantage of the turning into a default author with all of my presets having a Gemini skin in it. It'd be too much if I wanted to take advantage of it, and that's super cool. I mean, just thinking to myself, like, could I make that? Yeah. So, like I said, I was. This would even add essentially a third character. No, not third. Yeah. Well, there's our pets, but as far as main characters, our Tenno would be a fourth character actually. So yeah, our Tenno. There's displaced author. There's default author, or the author of the Hex. The current author of Hex, of the Hex. And like I said, if I had added this into the roleplay, it would have been a fourth character, so to speak. And like I said, just the way I want to kind of see things play out, I kind of like what I have going on here. Because like I said, I could very easily, right. Let's see. Yeah, I'm just not sure exactly how, because there's some subtleties to the way I actually, like everything looks black on my Warframes and my, there are subtleties to everything. The devil's in the details. You see all these different little presets, like everything's not just black. It's shades in it to try to give some tonal differences, sometimes also to blend the different pieces together the way I might want to see them. But yeah, so I'd have to come, all I'm thinking is that if I wanted to enjoy the default, I had to come to my armory and then make sure I don't have all of my presets set with a author in it. Yeah, it's just too cumbersome in my opinion. But like I said, you can't do it.
Calling on me? Must be serious.
And you know, if I wanted to, I could go to this one this way. Like I said, so we can go back and forth however you want into whichever one. But I'd have to go through this, I don't know, set change essentially. It just seems like it's a bit much for the way I want to kind of organically play it out. But yeah, I wish we could do presets. I would have did something. He would have been a fourth character, or the use of a standard Warframe, whether it's him or like my Frankenstein, which is my favorite. Like, call it Frankenstein because none of his shit makes sense the way it comes together, but it just looks great. I love it. You know what I'm saying? I mean, this is my dragon. This is my Pendragon, in my opinion. This is what I named him, and or sort of code named him. And then you hit that Nidus animation on it. It's done. It's done. But yeah, to honor the evolution of Warframe from Dark Sector to this point, I wasn't sure if I was going to go with this or just the Proto-Armor, because this kind of blends the point together, and this is like my favorite look. So I probably would have went with this to transform into him, transform to him, or him to transform into him. Like I would have had it set up. But like I said, I can't transform into him unless I do assign everything. And like I said, if I did it this way, where I took advantage of this fourth character, and if in order to make it smooth for a live presentation, I probably have to alternate each day, or something like that, in regard to the way that they're doing what they're doing, or just have a moment and do the set change and just keep rolling with the broadcast. You know what I'm saying? Make it part of the circle. Because it's like I'm not always going to. It's going to be fun. It's going to be a bit organic, but the roleplay elements will be there. And they'll be highlighted and mentioned and maybe characterized from time to time. But so to slip back into the armory and do something like this could be okay, but I don't know. If I have a reprisal to things, it'll be a nice surprise for myself and everybody else when we start the series. But I'm most likely going to run with this the way I stated before, because number 2, or number 3, 4, or 5, whatever. What was I doing here? This was none, wasn't it? Just remembering what I did in my role. Yeah. Right. What's that last thought? Right. I wanted to take advantage of the fact that we can select all of our presets and come out of our and use our emote and become a default author. Because this is the only way we can do this right now, to go from one author to another. And I wanted to highlight that in the series. Because after the series, I'm probably not going to do this. It's cool, but it's not necessary for me and how I want to continue role playing. Because I'm always role playing in one way or another when I mess with Warframe in the back of my head. But as far as kind of going through this stage set and visualization or explanation, to what I'm doing, like with this series, I don't do that all the time. So yeah, we want to go ahead and highlight this and show that through this series, because afterwards, 9 out of 10, I'm gonna be rocking the Beast. That's another nickname for my
this is exactly what I'm
my Frankenstein, my Warframe. So you see, this. So like I said, for those that don't fully understand, a Warframe, it's not only the name of the game, but it's also to what you run around as, or one of the things you can run around as. Similar to First Descendant, you have Descendants. But yeah, this came out long before, and First Descendant got a long way to go to catch up. Where's my Kaduto helmet? Yeah, this was made by Tenno a person created this, and DE was like, yeah, we're going to put this together and put it in a game, and people get to buy and enjoy this, and you'll get a commission from it, from the sales. This is a very, 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 very nice skin. Very, very nice skin. It's one of the best in the game. But my particulars and the way I like to take advantage of the various different cosmetics and certain shit I like. I said when they came out with Umbra and we had this toggleable loincloth to put on, I was sold. But like I said, this does work well with this. I mean, it's hard for this thing not work with anything you want to put it to, just about. At one point in time, I was going to run with this, but for so many years, I was a big fanboy of course, the Proto-Armor skin, because I played Dark Sector. I love the way this looked. And they've updated it through the years, as I'm sure they're going to do with the Proto-Armor skins. I'm sure in refining them. As far as, like I said, I think this transformation thing anyway. But the cosmetics of it, the way the materials look in game, they did what they needed to for it, which was excellent. Because for a couple of years it was off. It was all kinds of shit I had to do to compensate for the way they were dealing with their graphics. Because DE built their game engine from the ground up. Kudos. But they got there's issues, as most things do tend to have. But they're on them, and it's going well. So the point being that because I really have always been a fan of this stature, how bulky it is. It's even taller, and then have the Kaduto head on this, this Warframe, he's huge. Look at the line here to sort of gauge where the height. Look at that. I love it. And even standing up next to other Warframes, even with the slouch posture, my beast here, my Umbra, my Pendragon is huge. So this will probably be what I'm going to run with after the finale, and then switch probably from to rather than to from, and that distinction. So basically I'm gonna run with them like this. So I'm going from author to my Warframe. What? That's right. I switched things around. Ha 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 ha. You get to see the fucking buggy shit because of the memory at play. So like I said, author, Warframe. It should have went to the Warframe, and I'll show you proof point. But again, why you want to come out, go back in, select what you want, and then enjoy. Because I swear, if you get that step, you're going to see some weird shit. And you're like, what? So yeah, as you can see, I can go to my Warframe from author, or I could go from from my Warframe to author. Oops. Go do it again.
You have to admit, this is an improvement.
Yeah, I added that howl in regarding the Umbra shit out of it. So yeah, like I said, I like rocking with my beast, and hitting the radial howl, which, oh yeah, I can show you that. Got, like, what's nice about, like I said, about the Captura is, like, you really just, you get a lot of cool aspects to do. Let's see, let's go to Sanctum Autonomo. But like I said, these are elements that, like I said, with these scenes, this scene here was in the prequel of the Lotus Eaters. Is this the right one? Yeah, it is. Yeah. And like I said, I like to put on the codex. And you get the NPCs here. So like I said, this radio howl. Oops, I'm on the wrong build. Hold up. Let's do it this way. Like I said, this is cool. I honestly missed the radial blind. I that was always my favorite. It always looked very regal and exalted. Namesake exalted blade, the way he would hold aloft his sword. But you know, I like having the assets of the radial howl, and it's like like I said, I may, after we finish with everything, go to switching between builds, because if I don't need the radial howl, because 9 out of 10, because that's what I'm getting to the point of, I'm going to be running author. I'm going to be rocking author as what I would consider primary or first, or you know, I don't want you to get confused with Prime, because it's Prime's all over the place in this game. Prime this, Prime weapons, blah, 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 blah. Just do it for a second. Like I said, I want Author to be first, and I want the Warframe to be second. So, with that in mind, I don't necessarily want to be running around with Author screaming all day. You know? But I, you know, because that's how it looks coming from Author. I mean, that's, you know, it's cool. It's cool. No, I get it. And then plus two, with me and the way I'm role playing it with the Helminth, he has the Helminth infused him with an Umbra strain, so to speak. Go with it. In which case, you know, now he has, you know, these attributes like Umbra. It's like an evolution to him, for him, so to speak, so that, you know, when I run with, let's see, where is that? Yeah, this look here. Like I said, I can still. That's right. I changed what I had in there. Yeah, I can do it with this. Right. So, like I said, he just that pinnacle form, so to speak. So yeah, I mean, whether he's wearing the robes or not, I mean, it's still cool, and I mean, it still works with my plot. I'm not sure when I'm going to go to this. I know I'm going to go to this at some point, maybe after the quest. I'm not sure, or after the finale rather, but because I really love the detail. But you know, the loincloth, right? But see, I'm not sure too. Like, yeah, I'm gonna work it out. I'm gonna work it out. Put it that way. But because it's the loincloth and the scarf, this shit's just so badass. In a way, there's a little bit of clipping, but with the way they blend things in with the Warframes and what have you, I think I could be okay with it, especially if I can be okay with Frankenstein, with Frankie here. I mean, like this pieces on top of pieces on top of pieces, and I could deal with, whatever particulars I have with wanting the styling for my Warframe to be peak. But yeah, so I'm not really sure when I may decide to go to that, because this is just so fly. And the thing is that if I'm going to be running with my Umbra, or with my Pendragon here, my beast, my Frankie, in a way, it's not necessary. It may not be necessary for me to have to go from this to this. I mean, like I said, this is cool. I might, and I may one day actually just only go this route and have old Frankie on display. But we'll see how it goes. But the thing is that if I because like I said, the detail in this is just it's just sweet. I mean, like, it's just so well done. And I mean, the form and the aesthetics, like, it's just weird how this looks better than, like, it's pretty much built. It's designed off the exact same framework of the but this, I'll take off the like I said, it's weird how this looks better than that, because it's got some straps and holsters and shit. I mean, the back is different. I mean, this is super cool, don't get me wrong. I mean, it's badass, the styling Excalibur has, like, but yeah, it's just weird how I'm just digging it the most. It's a lot of little subtleties that just make the difference. Excuse me. So yeah, we'll see what happens after the finale. But like I said, I know definitely we're going to be doing this into well, it is giving us a predictable result, even though I didn't change my I didn't back out of it to make sure that everything was fine. And actually, like I said, when you capture, you don't have to, but for demonstration purposes, I'm just always going to do it to reinforce the habit. But yeah, I had taken off the Proto-Armor skin, so it went to the next available one, which is good, and I'm glad it did. They actually show what's that stance I had, the reliability of it. And let me be a lesson. Huh. I thought I changed. Oh, I know why. What? I could have sworn I oh, there it is. I was like, I thought I recolored Site T09. Okay. Anyway, thought I put some recolors on them. So yeah, then go back in, get the author. Yeah. So yeah. So what's nice is I had the freedom to go from Warframe to him, and from him to Warframe, whichever way I may decide to want to go with it. But like I said, most likely it's going to be this. It's going to be, author to the actual full name I gave it in my loadout is Proto-Caduto. Proto-Caduto. Because it got the Proto, it's got armor, body skin, and the Caduto helmet. But the reason why the to and from and to important, because remember I told you, when you change instances, it's going to switch you back to whoever is first, or primary, or whoever is actually assigned to your loadout. And I'll show you that point right here when he goes back. But yeah, I don't want to keep rambling here, because like I said, I'm excited. I love sharing this stuff with you all. It's been a lot of thoughts too that's been in my head for quite some time about these things. And when DE brought this to fulfillment, I had to. I had to jump on this opportunity with this interim between the finale and the quest. And I'm glad I did. Like, some people had some weird bug where they could actually do the finale before the actual things happened that you needed to do to actually unlock it. And I'm glad I didn't stumble on it, and because I don't know if I would have known that I wasn't supposed to do it. You know what I mean? Like, because some things happen in the game where it's like, well, you're going to do that later, but we'll show you what happened now. Because it could have been a very easy mistake to make, is what I'm trying to say. And I would have kind of missed out on this opportunity to kind of put this sort of series together, or had the inspiration to put the series together the way I did. But yeah, this is the quest you go on to get the Kubrow for your Tenno. But this is what inspired me to be a Kubrow breeder, and especially a male Huras, athletic build, Lotus. Those are all the different aspects that you can account for in breeding one of these, because you breed them. Like I said, my Huras is a character too. He's and my and the Kavats are cool too. But like I said, yeah, the Kubrows are what's up. Because yeah, so that's another story about that. But seeing he's a character, I'll close out with the point of me being a Huras breeder. Like I said, the Huras, and also to a male athletic build Huras. They all come. The pets come in different shapes and sizes depending on what the pet is, and the Hurases, you grow them from an egg in this what they call the incubator. Did they have a fast travel for that? No. He's just across the room anyway. But yeah, you actually grow them from an egg, as well as all the other the fleshy pets, I guess you could call them. You grow them from an egg, incubate them. You can actually take genetic material from them. You can also sell your blueprints, on the market for platinum, or trade them for other goods. And you can mix the blueprints together. But I specialize in breeding the Lotus fur pattern that you see here with that etching, which is a random chance that you get it. And by having that, it used to be like, it still is, you can charge way more platinum for a Kubrow with a Lotus pattern. There are different types of Kubrows, that do different things. The Huras turns you invisible if you do not attack an enemy if you're near an enemy, the Huras would just make you invisible. And I love using the invisibility as a tactic in game and strategy. The sword I carry around, you can turn invisible with that too. So I have two different methods for my Excalibur to turn invisible and still fight, depending on the situation. Because when you cloak with the Huras and become invisible, you actually can use your abilities to fight. You just can't use your weapon, like a gun or a sword. So you can actually apply different skins on them as well, to have them get different looks for those that don't know. In different armor pieces and things like that. Like I took this armor piece here and put it with this skin to make it look like one thing. But I like the natural look of them as well. But depending on what Warframe I'm running with, these unnatural looks look great too. But like I said, the athletic build on this is particular, and it's for the normal size or normal build Huras. Because they're when you breed them, you have a random chance to not only get a certain fur pattern, you also to have a random chance to get a different size Huras, or Kubrow, excuse me. Regardless whether it's a Huras or not, you can get a different size one. Let me see if I can find example. Yeah, so see, this one's smaller. I didn't need to click on it. And that one is shaped differently. Plain and simple. But this is and so these are considered bulkies, right? Most people in Warframe love the bulky Kubrow. It's like a bear, damn near. And they can get huge. And also, too, they can get small. This is what they call a slender build. And it's called small. This is a athletic female. And see, that's the other kicker. You also too have a random chance to get a male or a female. And if you specialize like I did with the athletic build, you get a dimorphic, they're gendered. The females look like this, and the males look like this, so the males aren't as fluffy around the edges as the females, as you can see. So that was another random factor that I had to deal with in creating more breeds. But also too, the heights and the sizes get different. This is as big as they get. Trust me. I bred them so many different times. It's not funny. It's as big as it gets. There were only a few that I was able to get to that size, and I was trying for the longest to get a certain color, but that just didn't happen. But the thing is that I wanted to get a certain natural color. I guess that's the best way to look at it, because you can recolor the Kubrows however you want, or you can just have your default colors. And that tends to draw certain attention on the market too, if they have a certain natural coat color to go along with it. They're really cool. So I think that's the long and short of the Kubrow thing, and the breeding and the different variations you can get, and why I enjoyed them, and how actually they're tactically, for me, in the way I play, great. But yeah, I've got different. Yeah, so like when people were part of my clan, when they reached rank 15, I actually gave them a set of blueprints to breed their own Lotus Huras, and or Lotus period, because I have other breeds. I have all the breeds of the Kubrows with Lotus pattern. I said, well, what breed you want? And they'll tell me to breed. I give them a Lotus. I let them borrow the blueprints, and then they breed their Kubrow, give me back, trade the blueprints back to me for like bullshit mod or whatever, and you know, everything was good, and that way those blueprints would be there for the next Tenno who get to rank 15. But had 2 people fuck that up, so I had to stop that because I was like, man, you ain't gonna. Yeah, I spent a long time on these Huras's and getting what I got, and this shit ain't cheap. You know, like they give me back some shit, be like, oh, something happened, blah, blah. Okay, so you sold one of the fucking blueprints, because some people might feel like, oh, if I got one, and I think it does matter. Like if you had one blueprint that was a Lotus print and you tried to breed a Kubrow with it, I think it might increase your possibility to get a Lotus print, but if you don't, you'll never have that opportunity again, because what you breed won't have, it's not like the genetic traits kind of transfer down the line ancestrally with the blueprints. No, the blueprint for this Huras, once you make it, you only get 2. There'll only ever be 2. So, you know, for somebody to fuck with that the wrong way as a gift, as a clan member, obviously they ain't with the clan no more. But yeah, my clan is my own clan, without a doubt. You know, I'm a ghost clan, and proud of it. But yeah, at one point in time, it was like 30, 40 people or something like that. But yeah, anybody want to join the clan, come on in. I'm all set. My shit is, you know, it's not, because yeah, this will be a little bit behind it. The dojo will be featured at some point in time in the series for a moment or two. But this is one of my pride and joys too in creating it. It's not all super decked out and decorated like a lot of Tenno may have, but it's functionally sound. I'm all about form and function, bro. So, you know, with the aesthetics too. Of course, it's black, it's all seedy and shit. But yeah, no, the way it's laid out would look. I have it towered, essentially, to look like the image you see in the solar system map. Oh, come on now, we'll go over here. So when you look at the dojo, you see the way it's shaped. My dojo can fit in here. That's it. Other people's dojos, man, you know, because you can kind of build on with rooms however different ways you may want, there's no way you could conceive that it would fit in this structure. But yeah, so I spent some time laying out the room a certain way so that when you come to various different areas in my dojo, when we come to very different areas in my dojo, when you look out the window and you see the planets and everything where they are, whatever direction you're in, your point of view will be the right point of view to see what you need to see. And that is a good example. Now they've done, when they add rooms in the game, they've actually done a pretty good job with making that happen for you without having to figure out which direction you need to switch things around in to make sure you have the appropriate point of view with the appropriate direction. But with this room, I think they fixed this room. Well, they allowed this room to point of view to rotate. I think that's what it is. But back in the day, I had to figure out which direction this room was rotated in before I put it in and built it to make sure that when it finished building, you look out the window and see that planet in the same direction that you see the planet here. So yeah, there's a lot of little subtleties. Like I said, the devil's in my details. All right, you know. But my shit is functionally sound, and you know, they added this nice fast travel system to the emote wheel that used to never be there. I went through. I got transporters everywhere, so you could transport to where you want to transport without having to run through the whole place and take elevators. Like, it's very functional. There are elevators that take you to every floor. It's not just cosmetic. Okay, I'd go. Where am I? Yeah. And put up my own mini map. But yeah, I see. This is functionally sound. These rooms. And here's another room facing the direction of the planet, the way I was talking about. But yeah, here's the elevator. which will take you down to the other floors. So yeah, extended behind the scenes understanding of what all goes into the production of what you see. I need to do these rooms, so I'm actually in the process of doing some remodeling, some redecorating. That's why you see these things here, which you can change the colors of the rooms and this, that, and the other, because it's to get it to look like what you saw on the main level when you came in. But right now, like I said, it's a slight little sneak peek. I'm working on building this little, because like if you pull up the mini map and you saw the structure, the way it kind of went up and went out, right? Where I'm standing right now is within the structure. I'm kind of playing with a concept which kind of, it's not really violate my form and function, but playing with the concepts that they have in the game. I liked what they did with the whole, Entrati, Albrecht going to, different time spaces, dimensions, voids. Like you just have these portals that you go through, like what you do from the back room into the mall, like you saw earlier. So I was like, let me build something that has sort of like a time, space, nexus, dimensional, whatever, go wherever we want. And I'm like, oh, okay, I'll put up this decoration like that. I put this effect to make it look like a portal. Ooh, so I'm no longer in my dojo right now, technically, is how I'm role-playing this. Because these here keep this dimensional gate open to this. This is stuff you can do with the decorations game. And this is basic. But this is just me messing around with role-playing the way I like to without being... I don't go too overboard with extra. I like it, I like it sexy, sweet, to the point. So, hitting all the buttons throughout the duration of that session. So anyway, we stop playing. So yeah, so so this is this sort of conduit. This hallway is a gateway to a particular point in time. And then it brings you to this ancient Orican structure that seems to have been abandoned. So all this, though you'll see it on the mini-map, is technically not part of the dojo structure. You have these cool spears and shit. But it was dope is that that was a nexus to this point. But this point in and of itself is yet another nexus to other points. In this particular point, when you come out of it, and I'll have a little thing like I had over here, making it look all warpy and shit. But bottom line is it brings you into yet another area that is in another time and space for my role play. But then from this brings you to another place in time and space, which is this thing that we have as part of dojo. It looks like it comes from Deviri. So I was like, man, if I had this in my dojo and it looks like Deviri, like I probably wouldn't necessarily build some, like, it's not just the aesthetics that it look like from Deviri. It's aged like it's still in Deviri. So I was like, oh shit, I gotta have me another portal nexus right here. So I'll have another little warp effect to go right there. Let me see. Let me show you. Yeah. See if I can see real quick. So yeah, you go place decorations. I can't remember what it's called. Right here it is, energy cloud. So you take a decoration and you sort of place it where you might want to. I had it placed in a way where it looked like it, you could see it at a certain point of view, and in others you couldn't. But you got to make sure that you see it doing what it's going to do. You place it. You then do contribute. You put in your resources for it, and then you have a time limit for when it's going to be built. Now you can rush it, or with platinum, whatever. Like I've got like mad platinum in my vault. I don't care. For this demonstration purpose, I'll do this real quick. But then once you build it, you can put it in place. And then there it is. I have my warp conduit to my Deviri paradox area. Now I can move that around. I can destroy it. The resources will go back into my inventory, including my platinum. I think. If I remember correctly, I believe it does. Because that's why I got so much platinum. Because when I destroy shit, I get platinum back. If I'm not mistaken. I hope I'm not. It's just been a minute since I've really paid attention to it. But yeah, you do get your materials back as well. So like, DE, thank you for not being too fucking greedy. Excuse me for the profanity. Thank you for not being freaking greedy with time and money from us. I mean, because like I said, I've given it the whole time through 9, almost 10 years, and check my account. It's yeah. So yeah, you get this horse thing in Deviri too. I mean, like, it's just so. You can call on this pretty in various wherever you are for the most part. But either way, with this being here, like I said, behind the scenes, I wanted to make things make sense within the Warframe lore. That's my bag. Okay, yeah, plain and simple. And and so you then have, this is yet another conduit to bring us to another area that is straight out of Deviri. So yeah, another sneak peek. Oh, is that the Zeraman over there? So like I said, this provides a lot of different aspects for me to incorporate my role play, tie in all kinds of cool scenes and imagery into my role play. So yeah, looking forward to the way the series is going to, play itself out, and looking forward to the way I want to produce and, like I said, put out the final product of the what I'm looking for the actual, finale in its presentation. Like I said, I'm going to give some little short snippets as the story so far. It'll go with nice transition into the quest, nice transition into the post situations that sort of come up, because I want to preserve that aspect too, because there may be some dialogue changes from the NPCs when you interact with them. I'm not sure. I don't think that there will be, because like I said, the way I've made sense of everything feels about right. Is the you're in a successful point in place in time after New Year's Eve. Now, whether this becomes a permanent point in place in time depends on whether you successfully complete the quest, theoretically. But the quest is to be completed. It is to be accomplished. There's certain things you can do within it, but bottom line, just because you don't complete the quest and rectify all that needs to be for January 6, 1999 to still be there to take place, it's still going to take place. Warframe did kind of make sense also too of the experience you have within it as a gamer, playing a character tied intricately into the universe of things, involved with other players who do the exact same thing you do at certain pivotal points within the continuum. That's a good way to look at it. of Warframe, there is a singularity and a multiplicity. So, in my opinion, the events that are going to happen within, that of the quest is one of those points of a singularity. And, man, I have not explored this. This is so nice that they added this wheel in here. So yeah, so that singularity that single fixed point within the continuum, all Tenno experience. They have their own experience of that experience. In a singularity and multiplicity. I hope I'm making sense. But yes, it's it's like the moment happens, but yet it happens in this fractal manner where, yes, a single point, but everyone has an experience within it. Yeah, so yeah, we're going to have our experience within that single point in time and place, and I hope you do enjoy it with me when we get there, and enjoy the ride along the way. And hope this has been informative and helpful, perhaps, for those that may have had issues with the Gemini skin, those that may have been looking to roleplay, those that may have been wondering about the lore behind Warframe and how you can potentially make sense of it and blend it into aspects of roleplay. Because that's the thing. I mean, I've seen people cover the history, so to speak, of Warframe and the lore, but not really make a whole lot of sense out of it. Not really sort of, tie it together and go, well, you see this happen like this, with all the Tenno doing it, like what I just explained about this single experience, yet everyone participates in that can participate in that moment, but yet the replay of it will only show that one person that did it. So yeah, this is going to be cool. Definitely. So yeah, with that, we'll go ahead and close it out. And definitely, viewers, thank you for viewing. And take care and enjoy. Oh, by the way, we'll go to the my profile real quick, and we'll show the our Tenno and author, and that'll be the close. Like, I feel like I just want to make sure. Yeah, there we go. We're covered. All right, viewers. Thank you for viewing. Take care and enjoy.
Thank you for viewing.